We were talking about land rights, none of this Mickey Mouse bullshit, the most inferior forms of land tenure under British laws. We were talking about land rights, free, all total. All reconciliation is about making white people feel good. I'm sorry folks, but an apology won't provide for the pain, won't provide for the real needs that exist not only for the stolen generation, but for those who weren't taken. Land rights is important because it provides a means by which the Aboriginal communities could go through the process of recuperation and reconstruction. It provides a means for the Aboriginal community to strike towards economic independence, the only form of genuine freedom that you will get in a society like this. Until communities have economic independence, they have no freedom. We're still subject to the expectations of a broader community that don't give a shit about us. I'm almost done. Racism is not only about disliking someone for his skin color. Racism is to undermine the sovereignty of another person. Racism is to undermine the self-determination of that same person. It is to progress your situation in life by taking advantage of others. Racism is well alive in the process of colonization. The migrants are also indigenous of their land, and there is nothing more ridiculous than the charter right now made by colonialist assholes. Made by the same people that are going to bomb their countries to build a plastic world here, and when those people obviously look for a better situation in life, the same fucking racist colonial government tells them that they have to assimilate to this colonialist culture. The global dome of thinking is becoming more and more subtle to so many people. All you have to do today is to push a pen and not ask the question. The dominant society is trying more and more to assimilate us by forcing us to accept the psychology of the dominant society, by making us think that there is no other way for our survival than to become like your enemy. All you have to do, like I say, is to push a pen and not ask the question. But right now we're here and we're working together. I think that it's beautiful. I just want to put a little bit of positive stuff in what I'm saying. The dominant society is trying to more and more to assimilate us by forcing us to accept the psychology of the dominant society, by making us think that there is no way for survival than to become like your enemy, to think like your enemy, to act like your enemy, and to reinforce the stolen wealth of our enemy by being part of the process of assimilation. The proof is that right now some specific chosen people like Noel Pearson and Warren Mundine, as well as Phil Fontaine, the people that are supposed to be natives to this land, are signing contracts with the enemy and pushing forward the assimilation process of indigenous people. Brothers and sisters, as you already know, that enemy is right there smiling to us, offering us jobs, sending us to schools, offering us to compete over our brothers and sisters to get a supposed better place in society, selling us the illusion that we can change the system by the inside, selling us the illusion that if we do not resist, everything is going to be alright and that time will do the job. I wish not to share the world of the enemy. The corporation and assimilationists wearing the mask of pseudo-different governments. They are all the same and they are all fundamentally racist and assimilationists. The enemy is also those cops raised to not ask questions, orders, and authority. Those cops who assert colonial projects by force, complicit in the rapes and murders of indigenous women. They're right when they tell you all we do is our job, because that's what their job is if you dig below the surface of mainstream bullshit. Those cops that are coming on blockades to lock you up in jail when you're fighting to protect the heritage and the waters of your children, brown, black, yellow, or white. This enemy is the so-called privilege of watching it happen without any concern. To recognize it is not enough. Even worse, it's insulting to watch people stimulate their pseudo-internal humility and intellectualize anti-colonialism and then do nothing about it. We need mass actions again to resurrect the spirit of resistance. People need to participate to blockade, sabotage, protest, mobilization. It is not normal that some people risk their life while others are reading books all day long. I'm done after this. Colonialism created one only logical answer: decolonization. Colonialism is obviously not just a theory, it's right in front of our face. Decolonization needs to be practiced from the second you leave this protest. Find people with who you have affinities, people that are involved in decolonizing forces, help your local warrior society. We all want peace, but we got to face the truth. There's no peace on stolen native land. Peace can be found within ourselves if we support each other. Reconciliation will come from me and you and from you if we talk and start building a plan for a future that's outside of the boxes. Reconciliation does not exist as the state and the churches wants it. What they want is to pacify people while they keep doing the same shit under another name type form.
Est-ce que vous êtes prêts à marcher? Nous marchons aujourd'hui contre le racisme et contre le colonialisme. Nous marchons parce qu'on appuie l'autodétermination et la souveraineté de tous les peuples autochtones au Canada et au Québec, des nations injustement érigées sur des territoires volés aux autochtones. Nous marchons parce que nous nous opposons aux politiciens et compagnie, au Canada comme au Québec, qui continuent à exploiter les territoires et ressources des peuples autochtones. Nous marchons parce que nous voulons rappeler et saluer les luttes antiracistes du passé, et en particulier la lutte contre l'apartheid en Afrique du Sud. Le massacre de Charteville en 1960 est commémoré tous les 21 mars dans le cadre de la Journée internationale contre le racisme. Nous marchons aujourd'hui parce que nous dénonçons le racisme au Québec, qui existe aujourd'hui comme il a existé hier et qui a connu une augmentation dans la dernière année. Nous marchons parce que nous appuyons les luttes de toutes les communautés racisées et marginalisées pour leur dignité et leur autodétermination. Nous marchons parce que nous appuyons les féministes antiracistes, tout comme les luttes queer antiracistes, qui refusent d'accommoder de fausses peurs et la xénophobie. Nous marchons parce que nous sommes contre la Charte des valeurs québécoises, le projet de loi proposé par le PQ, qui est une manœuvre électoraliste qui alimente le racisme et la xénophobie au Québec. Nous marchons parce qu'on manifeste pour toutes ces raisons et d'autres raisons encore. Unis contre toutes les oppressions en sachant que notre solidarité et notre unité contre le colonialisme et le racisme est notre outil le plus puissant. La loi 60,
on s'en calisse.
Votre charte raciste,
on s'en calisse.
La loi 60,
on s'en calisse.
Votre charte raciste,
on s'en calisse.
Alors, bonsoir et bienvenue en direct sur 99media.org. Ce soir, sur nos ondes, une marche contre la xénophobie et contre la charte. So hello everyone, welcome on 99media.org. Tonight, a demo against xenophobia and the Quebec Charter of Values. Alors la marche vient de se mettre en branle. On est sur la rue Mont-Royal en direction ouest. So the protest has just started. We're now on Mont-Royal Street heading west. On est maintenant sur le coin de Saint-Denis, now on the corner of Saint-Denis.
le monde. Pour ceux et celles qui regardent cette année, aujourd'hui c'est la journée internationale contre le racisme. En 1960, en Afrique du Sud, pendant le régime d'apartheid, il y a une manifestation à Charte, le township en Afrique du Sud, et 62 personnes étaient massacrées cette journée pour opposer des lois injustes en Afrique du Sud. Et depuis cette journée, il y a une journée internationale contre le racisme. Aujourd'hui, en marche à Montréal, on essaie de créer une tradition annuelle, j'espère, que chaque année on marche contre le racisme. Mais aujourd'hui, on a un message. Comme les personnes qui ont parlé au début, c'est aussi contre le colonialisme. Il ne faut jamais oublier que nous sommes sur des terres volées. Il ne faut jamais oublier qu'il y a des injustices envers les autochtones. Mais aussi on marche aujourd'hui contre la charte des valeurs québécoises. Une charte de l'honte, une charte xénophobe. Alors, je prononce quelques slogans. La charte sera ça. La charte raciste. La charte raciste. Ni patrie, ni État. Ni patrie, ni État.
Ni Québec, ni Canada.
Anti-raciste. Anti-raciste.
Anticolonialiste. Anticolonialiste. Anticolonialiste.
Comment?
98, j'avais une bonne film à McGill. Un screening le 2 avril.
Et ça, c'est en direct.
Hein? Samosa? Non.
Samosa. Où ça, Samosa? Ah. On peut voir le cortège policier qui ferme la manifestation à l'arrière. We can see the police motorcade and some bikes closing in the demo in the back. You can see at least one, maybe two minibuses from the riot team and the riot team coordination van also, even with the public address truck. Alors, le camion flûte, le camion de coordination. Le camion de coordination de l'anti-émeute. Ainsi que deux minibus utilisés pour transporter l'équipe anti-émeute. Alors, on est toujours sur la rue Mont-Royal en direction ouest. On traverse maintenant la rue Henri-Julien. We are still on Mount Royal, heading west, now crossing Henri-Julien Street.
More than 700.
Compagnie, pour faire rouler les
Alors, toujours en direct de la manifestation contre la xénophobie et la charte sur les ondes de 99media.org. We're still live from the protest against xenophobia and the Quebec Charter values on 99media.org.
I just want to ask the people who are planning on speaking later on in the demo that you know about beforehand, people who are contacted beforehand, please be near the sound system. Aussi, j'ai besoin des personnes avec le service de la côté du système de son. Merci.
Ça doit être le conducteur le plus slow en ville. Comment ça va? Pas bien, toi.
Il y avait la famille, les amis, les voisins, ceux qui vivaient nous sommes la terre, nous sommes les étrangers, c'était l'italien, le polonais, l'homme de la ville, la beauté, le beau politique, nous a bien habillés. Et ma mère, comme du bon pain, ouvrait sa porte, armant son cœur. C'est ainsi que j'apprenais la charité, mais non pas la bonté, la crainte, mais non pas le respect. Les paysans au monde, on me pense à rouge,
Tu fais là avec ton iPhone.
Pas de police, juste la justice. Pas de police, juste la justice. Pas de police, juste la justice.
Tout le monde va à la même shot.
La charte, on n'en veut pas.
25 000 pour le 3.
Ah oui? Ben c'est ça, hein? Il y a le... C'est le 3 ou le 4?
Le 3 avril.
Le 3 et le 4.
Ouais, mais pour le 3, il y a déjà 25 000 grèves de confirmés.
Mais ils vont voter bientôt.
Alors, toujours en direct de la manifestation contre la xénophobie et la charte sur les ondes de 99media.org. We're still live from the protests against the Charter Values, the Quebec Charter Values and Xenophobia on 99media.org.
Self-determination! Canada is a legal nation! Land! Freedom! Self-determination! Canada is a legal nation! Land! Freedom! Self-determination! Canada is a legal nation! We didn't land on Plymouth Rock! Plymouth Rock landed on...
Alors, toujours Mont-Royal, direction ouest. On approche maintenant de la rue Saint-Laurent. Still Mount Royal Street, heading west, now approaching St. Lawrence Street. Alors, la rue Saint-Laurent, pratiquement complètement déserte. St. Lawrence Street being almost completely desert. Where is the Senate?
Anti-colonialisme! 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 Anti-colonialisme!
Si, ouais. Pas la première fois que t'as fait celle-là en plus.
mensonge, le monde leur appartient.
Je l'ai déjà!
Les choses peuvent changer. Par contre, je changer la carte du monde. La poignée veut du sens de l'eau. Je fais mon optimiste, je crois, j'y crois. La plume au droit, je fais pas de l'histoire. On est plus en mensonge, on est pas les insons. On est plus à la police, c'est au son, on est grave, c'est au son, on est tirade, c'est au Canada, on est en combat, on est fort et fiers, on est sans nation, c'est la force, on veut que chaque pays c'est le cœur premier, c'est la voix.
C'est pas grave.
Non, pas tout. C'est monopole de Marche. You're not the first one.
I was like,
Alors, toujours sur Mont-Royal, direction ouest, on traverse maintenant Saint-Urbain, still Mont-Royal Street, heading west and now crossing Saint-Urbain Street.
Parce qu'ici c'est notre place, sans oublier qu'on est l'espoir de demain, qu'on a le pouvoir de préparer, bâtir le monde de nous-mêmes. Les poids qui adviennent, on reste ensemble, solides, car peu se souviennent de ce qui reste du génocide.
Alors, toujours sur la rue Mont-Royal, on approche maintenant de l'avenue du Parc avec une vue sur la montagne. So we are still on Mont-Royal Street now, closing in on Avenue du Parc, Park Avenue, and we have a nice view of the mountain here in downtown Montreal. Alors, toujours en direct de la manifestation contre la xénophobie et la charte sur les ondes de 99media.org. We are still live from the protests against the Charter Values and Xenophobia on 99media.org. Toujours plusieurs centaines de personnes à l'intérieur de cette manifestation. Many hundreds of people inside this demo. At first I thought of saying close to 1,000, but I am really not sure.
C'est le racisme qui reste.
Autogestion mutuelle.
Ni patron. Démocratie directe.
Autogestion mutuelle.
Another 3 seconds stop. Stop for 3 seconds.
Ni Dieu, ni maître, ni patron.
Démocratie directe. Autogestion.
Ni maître, ni patron.
Not the top like that.
Alors, on arrive maintenant à l'avenue du Parc Nord, arriving at Park Avenue. À gauche, à droite, aucune idée. OK, il nous ramène des petits champs fantômes. Puis il passe sur le trottoir. Ça tourne, ça tourne. Ouais, ça tourne, OK. Moi, c'est lui, je veux. Alors, un policier de l'escouade à vélo du SPVM se promène avec une GoPro sur son casque de vélo. So there's a bike squad officer from the SPVM that has a GoPro camera installed on top of his bike helmet.
Ni État, ni Québec, ni Canada.
Alors, on est maintenant sur l'avenue du Parc en direction sud. We are now on Park Avenue, heading south. Is that solid?
Yeah.
Hey, hey!
This is Hugh Mastikela from South Africa. The song's called Mason Grenades.
Toujours en direct de la marche contre la xénophobie, la Charte des valeurs sur les ondes 99média.org. Still live from the protest against xenophobia and the Quebec Charter values on 99media.org.
I don't know about you, but this is a pretty good Friday night for me. I just would like to ask, je vais demander aux personnes qui est réservées pour parler d'approcher le système de son maintenant, s'il vous plaît. Ça nous aide beaucoup. On va avoir quelques discours dans quelques secondes. Alors Dolores, Lydia et les autres personnes qui vont parler, s'il vous plaît, Aminka, si vous pouvez approcher, c'est très apprécié. Merci. La charte raciste. Plus
soir, la Charte raciste.
Ex-hoodlums and jailbirds, back down to crime.
Donc on va s'arrêter quelques minutes devant ce signe non ostentatoire qui surveille sur Montréal. Dolores, tu nous adresseras la parole, qui est du Centre communautaire des femmes sud-asiatiques, et parlera spécifiquement de la Charte et de l'impact de la Charte.
Merci. I bring a message this evening from all of us at the South Asian Women's Community Center of Montreal. We are so glad that everyone is here this evening to show total opposition to the sexist, racist and xenophobic charter of the Parti Québécois government. We are totally opposed to any attempt to fix it, for any attempt to modify it, or any attempt to say hijab is okay but niqab is not. We are totally opposed to those who speak in our name, claiming to be feminists, who wish to save us from ourselves. We are also opposed to those who say that we don't know the true nature of feminism. We are also opposed to secular fundamentalism in all its forms and in all its manifestations. We are hugely angry with the totally irresponsible and dangerous game that is being played with our lives and our bodies. Those who launched the Charter and those who support the Charter have legitimized attacks against women. They have legitimized hate speech. They have legitimized violence by those who think they can teach us a lesson, saying things like, 2 bullets, it's hunting season, let's go. Or, let's burn these women and rape them like pigs. These are the kinds of comments that are circulating today. They demonstrate terrifying misogyny, but they also demonstrate fear of women and the power of women. It is comments like these that the Charter has legitimized. In Quebec, like in other parts of the world today and in history, we see how nationalism is the last resort of bankrupt regimes. The Charter of Values is a deliberately formulated strategy for a bankrupt nationalism that has run out of steam. And we cannot let the other political parties off the hook as well when they say hijab is okay but niqab is not. Or when they go along with saying that in some public sectors there should be no hijab worn. We accept nothing less than total equality to self-determine how we live our lives and how we dress. The Charter of Values is also a distraction. It takes focus off the economic precarity that many women live in. The Charter of Values and the obsession that we hear in the media and in government and semi-government circles about honor killing and forced marriage imply that all other women and children are safe. This is totally untrue. We only have to look each year at the growing number of women and children who are murdered in Quebec by male intimates and fathers to know that it is a total lie that only women and children in minority communities, especially Muslim communities, are at risk. This is a conscious manipulation of people's fears and insecurities after 9/11. It is also a continuation of settler colonialist logic and ideology that does not own up to the violence that has been done and continues to be done to indigenous peoples on their own lands. The Charter is a tool to divide and conquer. We do not accept the tactic of divide and rule, white Québécois versus minority Québécois. We do not accept the tactic to racialize and marginalize minority communities by focusing on the women of these communities. We do not accept the exploitation of marginalized communities in the service of capitalist and neoliberal agendas. And we do not accept any impositions on women's bodies by priests, by pundits, by imams, or by the state. At the South Asian Women's Community Centre, the Centre Communautaire des Femmes Sud-Asiatiques, we stand in solidarity with people, including women-identified people who struggle for a dignified life. We oppose all coercion. We support women who refuse to wear the veil because they are being forced to do so. But we also support women who refuse to remove their veil because they are being told to do so. Our solidarity is our strength, and we will continue to struggle for our collective liberation, rooted in our diversity and vision for a just society. Thank you!
Des femmes sud-asiatiques. Maintenant, j'invite James Essera de No One Is Illegal. Hi, I'm Vince from No One's Illegal. I brought the handheld cake earlier. And this is Sarah from No One's Illegal.
Hi.
Hi. So, we're here today to denounce the Quebec Charter of Values and stand in solidarity with anti-racist struggles around the world. We oppose the Charter because of its blatantly racist and xenophobic aims. While claiming to promote neutrality, the Charter plainly targets and makes a spectacle of the bodies of Muslim women, which in turn provides the ferment for an open climate of Islamophobia. While the public forms of violence that the Charter and its proponents inflict are indeed shameless, shameful, and yes, ostentatious, this should not be seen as simply an exceptionally ugly moment in Quebec electoral politics that can be struck down with strategic voting against the PQ. The Charter is part of a larger historical campaign to define and delineate the proper Quebec citizen as white, both in appearance and in value. Fighting racism does not end with opposing the Quebec Charter of Values. Nor does the removal of the PQ mean that racism will cease to exist in Quebec. This country was founded on white supremacy, settler colonialism, and exclusionary migrant policies that displace folks of color from their home countries, exploit them as temporary workers, and demand their removal if they are not deemed valuable to capitalistic interests.
In order to fight racism, we must oppose the illegitimacy of the Canadian settler state and its ongoing occupation of stolen native land. Simultaneously, we must oppose the imposition of its borders, as they are inherently violent and tear families apart, incarcerate thousands of people in immigration detention centers, force people to live in precarity and without access to basic social services, and uphold a two-tier justice system in which non-citizens will be deported if they have committed a crime. Fighting racism requires active decolonization. It requires centering the voices and struggles of Indigenous peoples, Black communities, and non-status migrants. It means opposing police brutality, the prison industrial complex, and racial